The map of Project Zomboid is huge. It has an enormous amount of buildings and structures on it, but the one thing it has more of are zombies. Endless waves of zombies. And since Project Zomboid is known for its realism, I figure it might be interesting to ask the question, is there a logical amount of zombies on the map? Because it seems to be quite a lot. Now, to answer this question, we need to know two things. One, how many zombies are there on the map, and two, how many people are able to live on the map. Luckily, the answer to the first question I can just borrow from the hard work of one Korea. He and or she has made the estimation that there should be around 52,000 zombies at the start of the game, and this is with a standard population multiplier of 1. For realism's sake, I will be ignoring the peak population mechanic because it doesn't really make sense for the population to increase over time. The data from Korea also includes a heat map. This heat map tells us that the zombies stay relatively close to the town they originate from. And this is quite important to know, because if zombies can just walk into the map of Project Zomboid, the population would just randomly increase. To check this, I decided to walk far out into the forest, and yeah, it's pretty empty out here in the forest. So that means at least if you do not allow zombies to respawn, if you turn that off in your settings, the population is finite. Now for the second part, this is going to be a little bit more difficult, because I did not find any data on the amount of buildings and the types of buildings that there are. So I guess I'll need to do that myself. First thing I did was divide the map into parts. Except for the capital, I also divided that into subparts, because it was so incredibly huge. After that, I proceeded to painstakingly count every single building in the entire map. Then I neatly put the results into a spreadsheet, and after a day of counting, voila, the results. Sadly, after counting this all up, I came to the conclusion that people don't tend to live in factory complexes and schools, so I threw out everything except for the apartments and normal houses. And the one thing that immediately became clear is how large Louisville is compared to every other piece of the map. It's 13 times bigger than the biggest other town, which is the one down here. It's even 3 times bigger than all of the other settlements and towns on the map combined. Now before I show you the results, I do want to tell you about some rules I made for myself. I did not count nursing homes and vacation homes, like hotels and camping parks. And the amount of apartments in Louisville is also probably on the low side, because I only discovered halfway through that there are apartments above stores. Now, to calculate the totals, I've used data from the United States Census Bureau. This data states that there are about 2.6 people living in every household. This means there should be room for about 16,000 people. If I take into account the inaccuracies, we arrive at a total of around 17 to 18,000 people that should be able to live on the Project Zomboid map. So I do have to come to the conclusion that the amount of zombies in the map is a bit unrealistically high. And with my limited experience playing the game, I do indeed get the feeling that there could be about 3 times more zombies than there logically should be. I mean, I already have to cut through like armies of zombies to get to one house. But, in all fairness, we should also ask the question, does it make sense from a gameplay perspective to put a lot of zombies in, even if you're trying to make a realistic zombie survival game? I would say yes. I think Project Zomboid tries to emphasize above all else the feeling of how utterly outmatched you are in a zombie apocalypse. Even if you are prepared as well as you possibly could be, your game is still the tale of how you are guaranteed to die. That's the thing that makes the game different from all the other games about zombies. And that, I think, is what gives the game its realism. But if you want to experience the technically most realistic population setting you could have, you should play at a population of around 0.31. Oh, wait a minute. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you found this interesting. Whilst it was a challenge to count all of this crap up and make all of this work, it was quite fun to make. So please tell me what you think of this type of video. And Either way, thanks for watching and hopefully see you next week. Bye bye. By the way, if you've still got any questions about the things in this video, like how certain things were counted or how I did things, feel free to ask them in the comments below. I'd be glad to answer them.